As a dietitian who's worked with over 250 busy professionals to lose weight sustainably, there's usually a reason why it might feel like everything's good during the day and evenings are the hardest and the time when everything falls apart. You might be thinking, don't I just need more discipline? I just need more willpower. I'm here to tell you that the evenings are actually just where the results show up of what's happening earlier in your day. I'm going to go through the top 4 reasons as to why you're struggling in the nighttime and what you can do instead. First reason is you didn't eat enough earlier in the day. And this might look like maybe you're out the door without even breakfast, or maybe you barely have time to pack a lunch. So you end up skipping a lunch or just basically snacking all throughout the day because you're in back-to-back meetings. And when you don't eat enough, it usually shows up later in the day when you get home, you finally have a chance to actually feel hunger, but it hits you all at once. It feels very difficult to tame, and it's almost a physiological response to unintentionally almost starving yourself earlier in the day. So if you find that you eat really little during the day, at nighttime is almost when you find yourself almost like binge eating or compulsive overeating or feeling like it's really hard to control, I would definitely look at what you're doing earlier in the day and see if you can actually intentionally add more calories and more food early in the day to really even that out. And instead, what we're aiming for is really kind of like, let's say 3 meals per day, snacks if you wanted to, but it's much more even instead of under eating and then suddenly you're like way over in the evening time and also feeling out of control. It just doesn't feel great either. You might have a bit of a food coma. Some of you guys tell me that you literally have to sit down because you're in pain, and you might get acid reflux because you're eating so close to the nighttime. The second main reason is you may be having really long gaps between your meals, or again, skipping meals. So let's say you have your breakfast at 8 a.m. and you eat at 4 p.m. or you eat at 3 p.m. Even if you did eat a reasonable amount of breakfast, but just because of the sheer amount of time you had between meals, usually when we go more than about 6 hours or so between our meals, our blood sugars start dropping, we start to get hangry, our energy and mental sharpness start to decline as well. So what I would do instead is avoid having those gaps between the meals and actually eat on a regular basis, let's say every 6 or so hours. And when you do that, you stabilize your blood sugar levels and you prevent that, again, ravenous hunger when you finally do get a chance to have your next meal. Because if it's been 8 hours since your last meal, you're probably going to overeat. Third reason is the fact that after a 8, 10, 12, who knows, 14-hour workday plus commute, you're probably mental fatigued. You have decision fatigue. You've made hundreds of decisions earlier in the day. And if there's nothing planned, if your plan is literally relying on your willpower and your discipline, it's probably going to be a recipe for disaster at that point. The fourth main reason why evenings feel the hardest for you, and this might be why you're breaking down and stopping you from losing weight, is the lack of a plan and structure. If you're coming home, again, all these different layers, you're fatigued, you're tired, you're hungry, like physiologically hangry as well, then if you don't have a plan, and by that I mean, what are you making tonight? Do you already have meals that are maybe pre-prepared, or are you literally like going on the fly and just relying on your discipline? Because if there's a bunch of easy, convenient foods like chips, a bunch of snacks lying around, or even like a frozen pizza, or the call of Uber Eats or DoorDash, right? Those are such convenient options, and without a plan, it's really a recipe for disaster. So knowing all of that, here's what to do instead. Let's avoid under eating earlier in the day and actually have substantial enough meals throughout the day to fuel us and prevent getting really hungry at nighttime. Let's do our best to avoid skipping and delaying meals for long periods of time during the day. No matter how busy you are, if it needs to be a snack that you end up going with, that's better than completely going an empty stomach and letting your blood sugars drop. And instead of relying on your discipline and willpower, have a plan for the evenings, whether this looks like, meal prepping on the weekend to set your evenings up for success, or if you're someone who likes to cook fresh every day, That could look like having the groceries available and actually have a recipe in mind, whether this looks like spending half an hour on Sundays to plan your meals for the week and or meal prep your meals for the week. At least you have a plan. And another bonus tip I'll add in there is environmental engineering to make the healthier choice the easier and more convenient choice, and the less healthy options less convenient and less available. So because you're going to be fatigued at the end of the day when you come home, maybe don't keep the chips, the chocolate, the ice cream readily available in the house. I'm not saying you can't have it, but at least, make it so there's a little bit of a barrier towards you just getting it and just having it out of compulsion and out of because you just didn't have a plan. Because there's a very big difference between eating chips, eating chocolate, eating popcorn because you genuinely want it versus eating the same foods because you didn't have a plan. Like that's literally just what's most convenient. You don't even want the chips or chocolate. It's literally just because it's there. There's a very big difference. I hope this was helpful for you. And if you're a busy professional who finds evenings to the hardest, but you still feel like you're maybe missing something and you want to pinpoint exactly what might be stopping you from losing weight, I put together a quiz. It's in the description. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe for more videos to help busy professionals like yourself to lose weight sustainably. And I'll see you in the next one.